YouTube? What is up? Welcome back to the Radar for Wrestling Studios.
What up, Marks?
Monday Night Raw just finished up, guys. The take-home edition of Monday Night Raw, because Elimination Chamber is this Sunday. They had a gauntlet match advertised with all competitors involved. Winner gets the last entrant in the Elimination Chamber, so the advantage, statistically advantage,
becomes the favorite.
We have a lot of interesting things to get into here. Interesting decision by The Miz, a callback to WrestleMania 2 years ago with a certain wrestler in the name of Kofi Kingston. Interesting developments in the Lacey Evans, Charlotte Flair, Ric Flair feud.
To say the least. Big
time developments there, not to say that it's a good thing. So we got a lot of things to get into. We got two takeaways from the show itself, which, it's Raw. So what are you going to say? What can you expect? Last night's NXT was so good that you knew today's Raw was going to be just a letdown. And it was delivered on all fronts as a letdown for the most part. So we'll get into it. But before we do, I remind you guys, drop a like and a comment on this video because it helps us out with the YouTube algorithm. It promotes more videos to you guys from us so you guys can see more of us. And we also want to hear your opinions on Raw, the situation with The Miz, situation with Lacey Evans, situation with Kofi Kingston. We want to hear you guys comments, your feedback, your opinions. We appreciate the community starting to grow a little bit more every single video that comes out. So we want to continue that trend. Please do comment. We want to hear all you guys, what you guys have to say. Subscribe if you're watching. Subscribe to the channel notification bell, guys. Let when the new videos drop. Social media, already know what that is. Pops out all on the screen. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. Let's get right into it. Two takeaways from Monday Night Raw. Monday Night Raw started off with Miz TV, and his guest was none other than WWE Champion Drew McIntyre. The whole time he's talking trash about Drew McIntyre for the most part, and talking about how he has Money in the Bank and all that, and then Drew McIntyre is not having it no more, and he attacks Miz, and Claymore kicks him and leaves Miz laying there. Then this takes takeaway number one, because you see the Miz behind us, very, very upset. But this doesn't make like a ton of sense.
No, not at all, really.
Yeah, and then
it's Raw, so
yeah, it's Raw. But the thing is, he pulls out like a more serious, intense promo, which is fine. I mean, Miz has always been pretty good at that. But after all that's happened to his character with the rapping and all the corny shit that he's been doing and the goofball stuff, he's been delegitimized as an actual threat and the Miz that we used to know before. So he makes it, makes this whole thing basically just ends up taking himself out of the Elimination Chamber match for no reason whatsoever, because of Money in the Bank. But he can still cash it in even after the Chamber match if he loses. Now he's talking about, I guess, making the tease that he may cash it in after the Chamber match when he's not in it. That's why he's not in it. But basically, coming back at Edge for the week prior when Edge pretty much destroyed him on the mic and demasculated him there in the ring. So I mean, I don't know. It's just, it's not really all that great. I don't really see the logic in himself. I see that fact that he's like, I'm not gonna subject myself to, the chamber itself and deal with all that beating inside there. That part I get, but it's just like, I don't know. It feels odd. So I don't know. It just feels odd.
I mean, it just feels pointless for a person to be in a championship match and then take themselves out. It's just like, even if you have the Money in the Bank, like you said, if you lose, you can still come back and just, whoever wins the match can just bang over the head with the ladder, with the briefcase, and then win the match. So it's like, it's just very dumb. It's not logical. It's just so random. The Monday before the pay-per-view, you're just gonna take yourself out of the match, and you're gonna go run around and make stupid things where John Morrison should be the guy. It's just, none of it makes much sense. It doesn't add to the character. It's making him look dumber than he's already looked for the last few months. So it just, I don't know. It didn't do anything for me. It didn't add to the storyline. It didn't make him, more interesting going into. I mean, we did later on find out that Kofi gets into it. So yeah, I guess we get that. But I don't know. Just feels very pointless and doesn't really make any sense for the Miz. I don't know. Just doesn't, whatever. It's just very whatever.
Yeah, I mean, there's some logic behind it, I guess, but for that case, you should have just done it last week when it was announced. I mean, why wait an entire week just to kind of switch it up? And then it's just pointless. Just put like I said, Kofi in it from the beginning, or put John Morrison in from the beginning. Just you could have just done the fact that, like, okay, there's logic behind it. He has Money in the Bank, so why would he subject himself to the chamber when he has that ace in his back, up his sleeve? But in the end, it should have just been done last week as just like, okay, he gets called, he comes out and objects. He says, I don't want to be in it, so I'm not going to be in it because I have Money in the Bank. So why do I have to be in this match? I can just cash it in whenever I want to after the match. And then from there, they could have had the match between like Morrison and Kofi and to see who gets in at that point. They could have just done that, to be honest with you. But, it was what it was.
But that's the type of stuff, even like at the end of tonight, we find out there's a huge gauntlet match. And at the end of the match, Drew McIntyre is exhausted. Maybe it's a great time to come in and
cash
do it
in
then.
there,
you know what I'm saying? It's just like it's the Money in the Bank. There's always like there's always a good reason to come in and do it. Just it doesn't really make any sense for you to take yourself out of the match that you can just come back in in case you lose. I don't know. That's the way I think of it. I don't know. It's Raw. It's wrestling. It is what it is.
It is what it is. But that's takeaway number 1 of the night. Next thing on the show is a 6-man tag team match between Riddle and Lucha House Party versus the Hurt Business. The promo before this between Riddle and Lucha House Party was terrible, and then Riddle in the back. It's just like that area too where they do the promo. I believe Vince is sitting right there. I just can't believe him looking at Riddle and just liking what happened in that the lines they gave him to read, but whatever.
Like right in the gorilla position.
Yeah, Riddle and Lucha House Party get the win afterwards. They're celebrating, and here comes Bobby Lashley, puts the Hurt Lock on him, and just ragdolls him as per usual. So so we'll see. Riddle again, he's in the triple threat match with Keith Lee. No Keith Lee tonight, so he's in the match with Keith Lee and Bobby Lashley just to take the fall, most likely is what he's there for. Next thing on the show was, all right, so we have Bad Bunny backstage. He gets, Mandy Rose walks up to him for whatever reason. I don't know why. She has his t-shirt and she's talking to him. And then here comes interview with Damian Priest. They're interviewing Damian Priest, Bad Bunny. They look over and you see Tozawa pinning R-Truth. And then Damian Priest throws Tozawa face first into one of those containers. And then here comes Bad Bunny, pins Tozawa, and he's the 24/7 champion. So you got that.
Yeah, I mean, Bad Bunny's the highest selling, merch guy of the last week, so why not give him a title? Might make sense.
You might as well. It might sell more 24/7 championships.
Rocket strap.
Might sell more
exactly. Yeah.
So here we go, and then you got the backstage segment. Adam Pearce with Kofi Kingston, pleading to be in the chamber match because before 2 years ago he got into the chamber match because Mustafa Ali got hurt. He got in there, and then that's how he made his runs all the way to WrestleMania, and Kofi Mania started. And then the Miz comes in trying to get Morrison involved, but then Adam Pearce, in his infinite wisdom, Kofi Kingston, Miz, winner, gets to choose if he's in it or Morrison's in it in the chamber. Then we have a match. Charlotte Flair and Asuka versus Lacey Evans and Peyton Royce because they're back to a tag team again. So whatever that is. The match has no ending. It's a no contest. It's going to be Lacey gets tagged in to face Flair, and then she just kind of backs out. And in the end, she says, "You're not going to touch me because I'm pregnant." And that's the route they went with it. And you had Ric Flair happy and excited and all that stuff like that. So
just doing his old dance he's been doing since the 80s. I mean, happy dance. I mean, this is Vince Russo booking if I've ever seen it before. This is pointless. It's dumb. It's just uninteresting, and I can see it end one of two ways. They've just erased it off TV and we forget about it, or a hand is giving birth to. One of the two is going to happen. One
of those two things can happen, but it's just I didn't think they were going to go down this route, to be honest with you. This route, it just didn't make no sense. A man that of his age impregnating somebody like this.
I'm not sure. Flair, baby. It's
I'm not sure if it's even possible, but yeah, it's just a terrible twist to the storyline. I hope that they wouldn't have gone down this way, but they did. So we'll see where this goes from here. And Charlotte's in the ring, shocked and upset and stuff like that. So Asuka meant nothing in this entire thing. So I think it ends up hurting Asuka. So next thing on the show was Kofi versus The Miz to see who gets him into the chamber. And this is takeaway number 2. Behind us, you see Kofi celebrating. Kofi Kingston is back into the elimination chamber.
Yes,
he beats The Miz and he gets in. Match was what it was, but it was fine. But yeah, it was just the right move. It's just we'll see if Mustafa Ali gets involved because again, remember, 2 years ago, it's because he got hurt that Kofi got in and the whole run started. Yeah. So Mustafa Ali tried to take out Kofi at a chamber and then put himself in the match. We could see that happen. So let's see what happened. Let's see what happens. I think it should have been probably Morrison put in the spot because I think he needs it more. It should have been a better spot for him. But you got Kofi Kingston back again in the spot after beating The Miz. But there's a lot of ways they can go with it. Mustafa Ali can attack him and then Morrison gets the spot anyways. Yeah. Or Mustafa Ali attacks and he gets the spot, or they just keep Kofi in there, so it'd be interesting to see how it plays out at Chamber.
Yeah, going into the match, Kofi, I guess they want to have all former WWE champs in the match. They kept, kind of putting that down. I like it. I like having Kofi in there. It feels a bit random just because last week him and Xavier go up against the Retribution crap, and all of a sudden you're just in the Elimination Chamber match. Whatever, it is what it is, but it is Kofi. It's cool. Is he a viable? I win the match? I don't think so. I really don't think anybody in the match is really viable right now except for Drew to keep the title. Maybe AJ, but he hasn't really been that hot over the last month or so, where he can get the title. I just don't see it happening. I just think everybody in this match is just going to lose to Drew, and Drew will go on to WrestleMania as champ, and I'm guessing Edge or whoever the case may be going forward. But it doesn't really make any sense. the chamber match going in. Just it doesn't feel like that important to me anyway. Just because it doesn't feel like anybody there can win.
Yeah, it doesn't. It feels kind of pointless at this point. The match doesn't really have much to it, so it is what it is. We'll see how it goes going forward. That's takeaway number 2 of the night. Next thing on the show, Randy Orton's kind of promo. He gets cut off by Alexa Bliss. Alexa Bliss is seeming to resurrect the Fiend is her plan. You know, so we'll see what happens with that. She's in the room.
Super
she has that demonic star on the ground, and she looks like she's gonna resurrect him. So we'll see what happens with that. Then after this,
maybe the chamber.
Yeah, after this you get Lana versus Shayna Baszler, and Baszler beats Lana. That's it. It was. It didn't have to happen. This match didn't need to happen, but it just happened. So it is what it is.
Because why not?
Yeah, because the women's tag teams titles in a terrible position. I think the only bright spot is the fact that they eventually have to face Dakota Kai or Raquel Gonzalez, which I think should eventually take those titles off of them.
Yeah, they really should just win and put the belts on NXT. Yeah, honestly,
should. Next thing on the show was the big long gauntlet match. It was like an hour long, right? So you start with AJ Styles in the ring. He's taking on the first guy. Kofi Kingston's the first guy in the ring against him. They're fighting. You have almost obliterate Xavier Woods outside to chokeslam to the floor, and he just destroyed him and killed him. So Kingston gets eliminated by AJ Styles. Then McIntyre comes in. Then Ken McIntyre runs the table because he goes through all the way through. He eliminates AJ Styles. He eliminates the next guy, Jeff Hardy. And then, basically here comes Orton, and Orton gets distracted by Alexa Bliss. Her face comes on all the Thunderdome screens, and he gets distracted and he gets counted out. So all roads lead to him and the Fiend at WrestleMania to have a massive gimmick match, which is what we're gonna get. That's all roads lead to that. So we know that that's pretty much drawn out there, and you see it right in front of your eyes. Then Sheamus, the final participant, attacks him from behind, and then in the end with the bro kick, you have Sheamus winning. He gets the advantage. He will come out last at the Elimination Chamber, and yeah, I mean, that's it. It's just it was fine. I mean, I guess it was. I don't know. I don't think McIntyre needs to run the gauntlet like that. They could have used somebody else in the match to kind of catapult him to make him a serious contender. You could have had Sheamus run the gauntlet. You could have had AJ run the gauntlet. It would have made way more sense. I don't think Kofi should have been the first guy out. I think Jeff Hardy should have been the first guy out to take on AJ Styles. AJ Styles kind of runs the gauntlet, maybe taking on Sheamus at the end or something like that. Or if Sheamus screws McIntyre out of it, something like that. I would probably been better off seeing.
Yeah, because we know Drew's a monster and he's already built that way. Nobody else is built that way currently. I mean, I know putting Sheamus there and having him win, but it just feels more like, oh, he's on top on Monday, but there's no way he's going to win on Sunday kind of feel. Just like that, the guy on Monday doesn't win Sunday. That's basically what that was. Drew didn't really need it. Drew's already a monster going in. You got to build somebody around that's going to be, like we said earlier, no one's really that viable right now to win the belt off of Drew in an Elimination Chamber match. Maybe the Miz might come in and sneak in. That may be the only thing I see. That's the only way I see Drew not being champion going into what's after Fastlane, right?
Fastlane,
so I think there's no chance. I mean, they might flip it, but I don't think there's any point of flipping it going into Fastlane.
Yeah, I don't think so either. But the problem with this is that you would use a gauntlet match like this before a big multi-man match to catapult somebody into the spotlight. This did nothing to catapult really anybody. No. It was 50-50 all the way down, and you gave away pretty much the chamber match for free because it's just pretty much a chamber match which you gave them, except they were all in the ring at the same time. And it's just, you should have used this to build a person like an AJ Styles or a Sheamus. You could have had them, but it's just all about having them put on one hell of a performance and run through the gauntlet all the way through. Because if you don't do that, it's given away for free, and it doesn't make any sense. Doesn't really help anybody. You didn't need to put McIntyre in the spot you put him in because he's the champ already. But whatever. That was the main event. Sheamus gets the win. He comes out last. That's the video we have for you guys today. 2 takeaways from Monday Night Raw. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. Remember to like and comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Let us know in the comment section below what you guys thought about the gauntlet. What do you think about Chamber and all that good stuff, and the whole pregnancy angle? What do you think about all that going on? We want to hear your thoughts in the comment section below, what you guys think about all this craziness going on Monday Night Raw. And that's the episode we got for you guys. If it doesn't work, you better not do the job.
Later, Marks.